Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with one more parasite, that is Ranunculus. Let us see what is the life cycle, what is the structure, and how does this particular parasite affects humans. Although the cases or the incidences of this particular parasite has reduced to a great extent over the number of time as the people have understood how this particular parasite spreads and they have started taking precautions. So let us see what this particular parasite holds in it. So this parasite is also known as guinea worm disease, or disease caused by this parasite, that is Dracunculosis, is guinea worm disease. It is a vector-borne parasitic disease. So here the vector involved is a cyclop, which is usually found in water. It involves subcutaneous tissue like of legs and foot. So the predominant site where this particular parasite will cause its lesion is usually the legs and foot. And the question comes, why only the leg and the foot? Because this particular parasite spreads through a contaminated water source which is used by many people. So what happens here is that as usually people who go to the common water source and they enter into the water source, the area exposed to water usually is the lake. So this is the particular site where you find this parasitic lesion. It is caused by a nematode. It's a category of nematoda. It's a round worm, which is known as Ranunculus medinensis. It is not lethal, although the rate at which it causes mortality is very less, but the morbidity and the disability that it causes is remarkable. Usually, it is transmitted exclusively when the people drink stagnant water contaminated with parasitic infected water fleas, that is the cyclops. It affects people in rural, deprived, and isolated communities who depend mainly on open surface water source such as pond and well. So, as I said, it usually spreads through a common water source, which is used for many purposes, like for drinking also and for washing purposes also. So, this area stands to be the highly infected area. And as I said, over the years, the number of cases has dropped drastically as humans have understood how this particular parasite will spread. The number speaks for themselves. In 1980, we had around 3.5 million cases, but in 2015, the cases have dropped out to only two-figure number. One more graph showing you how the number of cases have declined. In India, we have already eradicated the disease. So, unfortunately or fortunately, we can say that we might not be able to see such cases in India. So, the only part that we can consider in this particular parasite is its occurrence was there somewhere in the past. Although it is not eradicated from the whole world, but in India we have eradicated in the year 2000. 3 years after zero incidence was found in 1996, they declared India to be free from Ranunculus. Now, what is epidemiology? The agent responsible for Ranunculus medinensis, how does it spread? It is basically a round worm. It is sometimes also known as serpent, Medina or threadworm. Now, why serpent? Here, because it has a round cylindrical body, first of all. Second, its length is tremendous. It can sometimes range to around 3 feet. This parasite can range up to 3 feet of length. And why threadworm? If you remember, we have already discussed about entrobius, which is also known as pinworm or the threadworm. But here it do have a thread-like appearance, and it comes out from the lesion of the legs of the foot. And if you start rolling it on a stick, so it appears like a thread. So we'll see the photographs of it and we'll understand the terminology, analogy that is the thread worm created here. Adult parasite inhibit subcutaneous tissue, mainly of legs, but other parts are also included. And if we consider the difference between the male and the female worm, and it is quite obvious to us that female is quite longer as compared to the male, and the difference is huge difference. So it's very easy to recognize this worm, which is female, which is much longer, can be approximately 1 meter long also. So the 3 meter, 3 feet, 3.5 feet. Whereas the males are too short, 2 to 3 centimeters only. So here, the man is the definitive host, whereas the intermittent host is the cyclop. Here, what happens? It will multiply, and repeated infection may occur to the same individual. So, where does it spread from? We have discussed a common water source is responsible for this. Now, environmental factors are also influencing the spread of this disease, and that is why it is, because usually it is the summers which creates a scarcity of water and it brings many people to a common water source, and that is particularly the season when this particular parasite will start spreading. So it's quite understandable that as the scarcity of water would be there, it will draw the peoples to a common water source. And when these people will come in contact with this particular worm, they will get infected, or by drinking that contaminated water, they will get infected. Also, temperature do play an important role. And how does the temperature play? So the best suited temperature is around 25 to 30 degrees. Whereas lower temperatures like anything below 19 degree, it doesn't promote the spread of this disease. And usually they are uh, localized to tropical and subtropical regions. We'll discuss about the life cycle and other factors related to this in our next section.